Hello, I'm Bruce Lorincz, and this show is called Bruce on the Loose. I'm here at the site for the new 5th and 6th grade building on Broad Street, and some noise behind us, but that means progress. That means progress. We're here with Steve Moore, Assistant Superintendent of Wadsworth. Steve, thanks for joining us this morning. And who do we have here? Another guest.
Yeah, we got Joe Swantek here. He's our construction manager.
Wow.
Here from Hammond Construction, that's been overseeing the whole site and the project for us. And Joe's a former student of mine from the Highland days,
Wow.
so Joe's a good guy.
Yep, sure am.
Local to the area.
Yeah, for sure.
Here, so we're really excited as he's been kind of guiding us through this process, which has been real exciting.
What are some of your responsibilities as construction managers, Joe?
Yeah, so a little bit of what we do is we're involved from the very beginning when concepts start. So talk about building usage, functionality with the district and the design team, go through different design phases to have the building on budget, make sure the district's getting what they need, so that we can be prepared for what you see now as construction. So that point, that's probably half the process right there before we even start construction. So at that point, we'll get out to bid and start bringing all our trade contractors on board. So as we saw last summer in 2023, we did an early site package, developed the site for the building, got underground utilities in, so that then this year when the weather broke, we were able to start digging foundations and watch the building coming onto the ground here. So we manage the process with all those contractors, then bringing them on board, coordinating with the school district for their needs, and of course with an active campus, there's a lot of consideration there so that we don't interrupt the district's use of the rest of the campus as well. At the same time, build the new facility. So certainly we're visitors on the site, right? And so they function as they always do with us here. And so it's certainly a safety item that we have to be careful of, not only with the staff, students, the community as well. And so all those things go into some planning process and continual coordination.
I was almost tackled before this without having this and the vest, and so safety, you really take that very seriously, don't you?
We do. It's important for all of us. So as you did, you got your hard hat, your glasses, your safety vest. It's critical in today's day and age. I mean, there's a lot of heavy equipment running around, big trucks and things like that. So certainly it's important. I mean, our goal is for everyone to come in, go to work, go home safely to their families' homes at the end of the day. So yeah, it's important.
Steve, I'm amazed. I go by, you live right around the corner, go by here, can't believe the progress.
Yeah.
And the weather's been very cooperative, and not many monsoons or tornadoes or hurricanes, but it's really been good. The crew has really moved forward.
Yeah, the progress has been great, really. I mean, and I know I'm out in the community, and a lot of the community's watching. So they kind of see, they look at there, and it's been great working with Joe and the team here because they've really kept everything on pace. We're really in a good shape with where we're at for finishing in the fall of 2025, so we can open up not this school year but the following school year. They're racing, they're racing, as Joe keeps reminding me. Yeah, you see walls going up. There's a lot of work that gets to do that. I want to echo a little bit what Joe said. It's really been nice working with them and coordinating so that our disruption to what we are currently do is as minimal as possible. And that takes a lot of effort. Joe and Jesse and some of the members of the team, that they communicate to say, when these big trucks come on board, we got to make sure that it's not during, bus time or, dismissal or arrival time. So it's been a nice job of coordinating here. As we know and as our people know, traffic is always a concern on our campus, and they've done a nice job of working with that. But Joe and his team does a good job of getting everything in. And again, it's exciting to see. We got walls coming up, and really, I think the area that's directly behind us here that doesn't have anything, that's our academic wings. That's going to get up there probably in the coming weeks here, I would think. And but it's nice to see how the building is progressing.
We have a lot of new people moving into the community, and Wadsworth is growing, steady growth, about 2.5%. What grades are here, and what is the square footage of the building?
Yeah, this is going to replace our intermediate school, CIS downtown. It's 5th and 6th grade. So it'll house we currently have about 600 students in 5th and 6th grade, and that's what will be here. This building can fit up to about 750, which, you know, in the foreseeable future is not going to be anywhere near that we're going to have, because while our city is growing, our student population is actually declining, which is shocking. But it is. But building's going to be, it's about 120,000 square foot building that we have here. It's going to be beautiful. It's kind of mirroring a little bit of how our high school is. If anyone's been in our high school, it kind of mirrors a little bit of that. We have the same architect, Halliburton Root, that third part of our team here with Hammond and the school district to get this in play. And as Joe mentioned earlier, you know, a lot of coordination prior, and as the community is aware, we got a little delayed because of funding or budget stuff and just working through the times. But, you know, now that we've got through that, and now it's just exciting to see that the pictures on the drawings are becoming real life for us. So it's exciting, you know, and as our teachers get back here in a couple of weeks, we've been keeping them up to speed on where the progress is. It's going to be nice to report back to them so they can see one more year in old CIS, and then they come into a brand new building. So it's exciting to see come to fruition.
I imagine the community is very excited too. I understand there's going to be a theater connected with it that would have a separate entrance and exit, and we have big productions, and Wadsworth really believes in fine arts, so they may be able to come to a production here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is our Performing Arts Center here is going to be a little larger than the one we have at the high school, and it's a little larger than OJ Work. We really felt strongly, our board felt strongly that with the fine arts as strong as we are, that we have to have a theater in this building. With the uncertainty of the old building as what's going to happen with CIS or OJ Work, it's just unclear what's going to happen there. We just wanted to make sure that we had something to be sure that we were continuing the excellent work that our teachers and students do in those programs. So yeah, it's going to be a 1,000-seat auditorium. It's mirroring the high school where you have that big commons area, just like in the high school. So you'll be able to go. It will have a separate events entrance versus the school entrance. But all of our, I would imagine, again, a lot of our elementary items are going to be here, but also some of the high school and middle school items will be here. We'll just be kind of coordinating between the two auditoriums. When we need a bigger venue, you know, we've been selling out the high school venues. That's why we got a little larger. And so it's really exciting to see our choir concerts, our plays, performance band concerts that are so well attended here.
Sometimes elementary schools have very, very limited parking. And it's parent-teacher conference, and people have to park on the streets or walk a ways to get there. How has that been rectified?
Well, for here, it's going to be tremendous because of where we're putting the building and the shared campus with the high school and middle school. We have ample parking for all of our events. The challenge is that everyone wants to park within 15 feet of the front entrance, and that's just not possible.
Yes, that's true.
But there is ample parking here for this facility. We have 400 parking spaces in our high school student parking lot that is never used for our events, very rarely used. We try to encourage people to park in there. That'll also be overflow here. There's going to have about 100 spaces here on the property on this side of Grizzly Way, but we also have a parking lot right on the other side of Grizzly Way that people driving by. That's kind of our current construction parking right there, but that's going to be parking for our events and for this building. We'll have ample parking within a short walk. If you had to go to a Browns game, Bruce,
yes,
and you parked in the uni lot,
25 years.
You'd walk way more
I
than
did.
you would be
and
if
got
you
the
parked
orange
here.
to show it right
absolutely.
here. Joe, I know you've already talked about your flexibility. What did COVID do for your company and trying to bring new people on board? And I know a lot of businesses have a hard time attracting people. How did you deal with that?
COVID certainly provided a shortage, not only of manpower, materials. Materials were a big issue too. Budgets, got crazy. Stuff got expensive. So right now, I think we're all really starting to pull out of some of that. Materials have relatively settled quite a bit, so that's made things much better. People are still at a shortage, at a premium, like in most things, but there are a lot of good people out there, a lot of good contractors, and so part of our process is we pre-qualify all the contractors, and they're reviewed with the team, the school district, as well as Steve mentioned, Halliburton Root, the architect. we review all those contractors together before they bid on the work, okay? And they're pre-qualified, meaning they have the manpower, they have the flexibility, they can get the equipment, they can support and operate their businesses so that when they are here working, we're comfortable that they can meet the needs of the project schedule. So of course we're always looking at bringing new people on. Most people are. That's what, like the masonry students from the Four Cities Compact toured the facility here a month or so ago, and we're going to do some more of those as we get along to continue to keep the young kids, hopefully bring them involvement here. And what a great place to do it, right on the campus where some of them are learning as well. So just to try to keep the excitement, involvement, and continue to get young people involved in the trades.
Has there been any surprises? Anything that you hadn't thought about ahead of time that presented a little hurdle for you?
Fair question. You know, I think overall things have gone really well here. You know, certainly coming out of COVID, Steve mentioned, and a lot of people know, we had a little bit of budget issue, but that's something that just was the nature of COVID, quite honestly, and in the inflation that we see in some of our daily lives as we go to the grocery store or whatever that may be, right? So we work through those things, and we know the building's coming out, so we worked through that, and right now, I mean, it's really coming together. So you can see we started kind of in the mechanical area, music area of the building, moved around into the admin area, the student dining space, and as Steve had mentioned, right behind us are the academic wings. That's two-story part of the building. That's structural steel, and part of our strategy was that where we started is masonry bearing. Those are materials that are readily available for the most part. And then it also gets the MEPs, the electrical, plumbing, those types of utilities started, which support the rest of the building, while we're doing what we call our submittal and shop drawing process for the structural steel, which is some final connection design, some final calculations to make sure that how everything's coming together there. So that structural steel is going to start arriving. Some of it's here, and it's going to start arriving next week and continue on through those, where we will finish in the theater that Steve spoke of last. And that's where actually masonry is going up right now in the theater space. So it's just, you know, coordination, going in with a schedule up front and having a plan. And then there's always a little bit of adaptability. You know, something changes because it just doesn't fit. You know, these school projects, or many of these construction projects, they're very unique. They're built only one time. So they're designed one time, constructed one time. So you'll run into little hurdles, but as a team with the district and design team and ourselves, that's what we do. We work together on solutions to work through the problem, and there fortunately haven't been any major hurdles that we haven't worked through, and we always do figure it out. So, you know, nothing concerning or really large to speak of here that we're struggling with.
It's really important to look at things ahead of time so that you're not surprised, and boy, you have to undo work that you've done. What about this county or city? Any permits or anything that they have been involved in to help the project?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great working with, I've got some experience working in the county, not the city personally, but the city's been great to work with. So up front, we deal with some of the soils and really site design type items with a lot of the utilities. Some of it's tying together. You know, you guys here in Wadsworth and some communities have Wadsworth Power, for example. They've been great to work with. A lot of times we're dealing with the illuminating company and things like that, which is great as well. But working with the local people sometimes on the utilities is really nice because they know the community, they have that interest, and they've been great. So that's really kind of the utilities. Some of the site type stuff is the city, and then Medina County is handling a lot of all the building itself. And me personally, us as a company, have done work in the county. So I know those people, kind of know their processes, and they have been working really well with us as well. So they review the documents, mainly for a lot of life safety items as well as local police and fire. But they do that, and then they're here on a regular basis doing inspections as well. So that's
so not giving you carte blanche and say, oh, you go at it. So they're checking from time to time.
No, that's right. So there are certain steps. So we pull permits like many of us, may do if there's a kitchen renovation or we're replacing a deck or a fence or something like that. Okay, there's permits here that are pulled for the same purposes here. And along with those permits are certain times and certain requirements for inspections, so that the county and city are comfortable with things that are going on. We're meeting the requirements of the design. There's the concrete is up to strength. So there's third-party testing as well who are involved in a lot of those things. So they're testing the soil compaction, right? Because we have this nice building, but it has to be sitting on a certain design soil capacity. So that was all tested as we were putting foundations in. You can see foundations obviously are pretty well completed at this juncture, but the third-party testing is involved all the way through that. The county inspects that as well. So there's rebar, bearing capacities, and then concrete testing for densities, structural steel inspections so that welds are performed correctly, bolts are tightened to the correct torque specs, and all things like that.
We're not going to fall out of the airplane, are we? So hopefully not. We've really learned a lot. Joe and Steve have helped us out so much early on. So we'll go to a second segment coming up. Thanks for viewing. Back with Bruce on the Loose, and we're here, believe it or not, we're standing in the gymnasium. We're joined by Jesse and, of course, the fine assistant superintendent of the schools, Steve Moore. Jesse, how many workers are on this project? I think you're the construction manager?
Yeah, I'm the project manager. I'm mostly on site.
Right.
Currently, we have anywhere between 40 to 60 guys. It just depends on what's going on the job
and they all coordinate. They know what they come in. They all know. You let them know what they're doing that day.
Yeah. So we have a superintendent as well who's not on site today, but we have 8:30 a.m. morning huddles with all the foremen on site where we get together, coordinate all the activities and how we're going to work alongside and around each other. Again, like was mentioned before, there's a lot of heavy equipment that moves around. So all the trades, we have a mason, a structural steel guy, a concrete placement contractor, an electrician, a plumber, a mechanical contractor. There's a lot of moving parts. So we get all these foremen together, designate areas where they're going to be working for the day and what times they're going to need to maybe make accommodations for other trades to do their own work as well.
I've done a couple shows lately with the Four Cities Compact, so it sounds like there's jobs available for people, for young people that graduate in those various fields you've mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, in every trade we have working in this building, they want young people. It's a known fact now that most of the trades are filled with older people who are on the cusp of retirement. So we're trying to encourage younger ones as much as we can. Like Joe had mentioned earlier, we had the class, the Four Cities masonry class come through, and we took them around, showed them some of the techniques as the masons were laying up their masonry blocks, and just trying to drum up interest in the younger generation.
What is some of the headaches that you deal with on a daily basis? Anything? Of course, the weather's today 50-50.
Right.
So if we don't have rain, you'll be happy. The rain, you probably get people into other situations.
Yeah, so the weather, obviously, for one, is a huge issue in any construction project. And thankfully, we are at a point where we have certain parts of the building that have been roofed and dried in. So if, for example, the rain could come through at noon, the mason could just wind down outside and go on inside and start laying up interior walls. Same thing with the structural stud contractor. The mechanical guys are obviously inside already. So things like that, you just have to kind of play by ear and think on your feet a lot of the time,
I can kind of look at track and field with several different events. Of course, the Olympics coming right around the corner in France, but it seems like it's very difficult for you to get everyone on the same page working together, but this building has really taken form and great progress.
Yeah, it's a challenge for sure, but again, communication, free and open communication is key. You know, just when you see issues or anticipate issues, you know, bring it up as early as possible and communicate openly and honestly with all of the team players. And usually there are a lot of smart people who work here, and once we get together, put our heads together, we usually come up with a solution pretty quickly.
So two heads are better than one, right?
Absolutely.
And how long have you been in this construction business?
I've been in construction myself for just over 10 years now, and obviously I'm still learning a lot, but
you have a foundation. You know some things that went wrong and how to correct those, and communicate, you said, is very important.
It is absolutely important.
No question. Steve, I think we're standing in the gymnasium. I'm not sure if I can get up and do a hook shot, but
it's exciting. You know, obviously the gym was an important part. Our current intermediate school gymnasium just doesn't suffice, and so this gym is going to seat about 600 to 700 people. Wow. It's about the size of our current middle school gym, you know, for people to compare. But it's going to be nice. Going to have the nice bleachers, full-size basketball court. We'll have volleyball, obviously, capabilities. But it's really exciting, and one of the things that our principal, Brandon Cobb, really wanted to have is a place where he could have all the student body in, to where he could do pep rallies, do things, do other assemblies here.
Yes.
So it's real exciting. But yeah, we're kind of standing in the southeast corner of the gymnasium, and really it'll be real exciting when it gets invaded. So we'll have, with 2 at the middle school, with 1 at the high school, with our field house has 4 courts. We're going to have about 7 or 8 full-size basketball courts here on our campuses, which is really exciting for basketball, for volleyball, for all of our sports that need to have a gym size. So this just adds to the experience here at Wadsworth. So it's really cool.
We talked about the theater being a little bit bigger than high school, 1,000 seats. Could City League basketball also, if schedules are packed, could they also be invited?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The City League will be. They use all of our gyms except for maybe the high school, but they use all of our gyms as well. And this will be it'll be a great venue. I mean, we have City League currently down at our CIS, and it suffice, but it'd just be much nicer here. Better parking, better place to sit and watch the games and watch the kids play. So yeah, the City League will use it a lot, and it being right on the campus, they have a lot of options that they can use. So the shared services is great.
Jesse, I bet it's gratifying to see the progress. As months go on here, we get closer and closer, and I've talked to families that they can't wait for the building to be open. It's got to make you feel good to see that good progress going on each and every day.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of the reasons I got into construction to begin with. I like to watch things come together and just observe progress being made. So yeah, I absolutely love it. It's what I live for. I mean, that's why I'm in this business today.
And it's good to hear that if there's issues, that people are encouraged to come forward and say, hey, I'm not sure about this, and we'll work things out. And I think that's positive, because headaches on the horizon are forwarded.
Absolutely. That's the only way to get ahead of it. The more you ignore it, the bigger of a problem it gets, So yeah, and we don't lay blame. When a problem rears its head, we just deal with it as best we can. Again, we're lucky to have a school district that's very cooperative and are willing to work with us, and a great design team based in Chicago. They're also very willing to work with us as well. So sometimes on the fly, decisions get made. We communicate with the design team, and they work with us to maybe tweak the design a little bit, change it up, and help us move forward.
Well, Wadsworth's always been known as a community that coordinates, the city and the schools and businesses, and that's really important, because again, everyone's heard and all their voices are important.
Absolutely, that's been my experience from day one here. Mr. Steve Moore, Dr. Hill, the treasurer Doug Beeman, they're great school district to work with. I mean, we have our bi-weekly meetings every month, every 2 weeks. And yeah, over there we bring out any issues that we might be anticipating, and they usually weigh in very productively.
Steve, this also, same question, it has to make you feel good that progress are being made, no major issues, according to today.
It's real exciting. It's exciting for our community. You know, when we started this process a couple of years ago, and really for me, you know, I was part of the high school facility and the big project, but I wasn't heavily involved as I am now. It's real exciting to see it come from just talking about it to putting it on paper to now seeing it being built. And I can't wait till next fall when we start seeing kids come into the building for the first time. So it's real exciting, and our campus is going to have 5 through 12 up here. It'll be really good to share our services. It's going to be much more efficient for us. But the excitement that we are seeing from our community and from our staff to get to a new building is really cool. There's some fear. There's certainly some fear.
I was involved in the middle school,
right,
and we moved kind of in the middle on Christmas break.
Yeah, right.
We moved things in, and it was there's some trepidation, no question.
There is. Teachers want to think that they need to bring every little thing over, and we kind of tempered it, like we can't bring everything that you possibly own over to our new building. So we have to. It's going to be a different space, but it's going to be such a better space for it. So for sure.
Well, I've learned a great deal today about this building. Thank you very much. I really can't tell you how much this building has progressed, and looking forward to seeing its development in the future. Thanks for viewing Bruce on the Loose.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.